Welcome to the Senate Minute, a podcast dedicated to keeping the public informed about the Indiana General Assembly and engaged in the legislative process. Our guest this week is State Senator Ed Charbonneau. Thanks for joining the Senate Minute, Senator Charbonneau. As chair of the Senate Committee on Environmental Affairs, can you please explain what environmental issues Indiana is currently facing?
Pretty significant environmental issues that are floating around this year, and one of them has huge implications for the state of Indiana long term, and that is a water policy that we don't have in Indiana. So one of the bills that I am working through the system calls for the state of Indiana to begin the process of developing a water policy. It's going to be a long task, very involved, very complicated, and going to be very expensive at some point, but something that we have to do. Our approach today is as if we're dealing with water and it was a 500-piece puzzle, and none of the pieces are connected. And because of what's going on, it's turned into a Wild West where communities are annexing property so that they have control of the water rights. It's a very problematic situation that we need to get our hands around. Another one that we've been dealing with is a bill having to do with recycling. It's another area that Indiana is way behind. 2 years ago, I wasn't the chairman of the committee at that time, but the committee that I'm chairing today voted to take out of the Indiana Code a reference to a 50% recycling goal. That is part of the bill that I'm, again, moving through the process to determine we don't know what we're doing. So if we do our job correctly, it's going to not only benefit the environment, it's going to benefit industries that can use bottles. We have glass makers in Indiana that would be able to utilize the bottles that get tossed out of bars and restaurants. They just go into the garbage. Some of the people in testimony that represent the recycling industry talk about the fact that we would be creating 10,000 jobs in Indiana if we approached recycling in an appropriate manner. Thank you, Senator Charbonneau, for being a guest this week. And thank you, listeners, to the Senate Minute. To subscribe to the podcast, visit IndianaSenateRepublicans.com.